You've got more strikes happening right now in Sana'a, Yemen. Let's get your reaction.
I see what Kirby said there. The objective is to get them to stop. And I just have to scratch my head and I say, what possible rationale and logic would get you to think that this is actually going to stop them? Because we have every evidence in the world that this is not going to stop the Iran-backed regime or the Kataib Hezbollah in Iraq, the Islamic resistance in Iraq, or Houthis down in the Red Sea area. These things are going to continue on until the cause of them, which no one's wanting to look at. It's not just because they don't like America and they're attacking them out of nowhere. Every single one of these expressly are tied to the Israeli-Hamas war and the killing of the Palestinian people in that war. That's what they all say that they're doing this in response to. 100% of that Houthi stuff started in mid-November, well after that war started there and not before. So if we don't even examine that, then you're not going to get them to stop because that's the reason they're doing this. The second thing is that the only reason they're able to strike us is because we're there, because our troops are scattered throughout Iraq and Syria on the ground, serving no vital purpose for our country, and no one's even talking about withdrawing for them, Arthel. And as long as they stay there, you can count on the fact that these groups, they're going to continue to strike. And if we expand this into Iran, which so many I've heard, hawks in America are clamoring for, then you have the real shot at actually starting a war that we do not need and might not even be able to win. I'm
going to come back to might not be able to win, but you mentioned Netanyahu. How, in this dangerous moment, what can Netanyahu do, the prime minister of Israel? What can he do to prevent this war from becoming a wildfire?
Right. He can't, or he won't do anything. It's not even worth looking at that because he's, focused on doing whatever he wants to do there and winning by his definition. But we have some leverage in there because apparently, from what I heard earlier this afternoon, the Speaker of the House is now ready to sign off on a $17 billion aid package to Israel. That needs to come with some strings because, Arthel, I know no one wants to talk about this, but look, we have interest in the region too, and they are not synonymous with what Israel is. We need this war to be over, not for Israel to just kill everyone that they want to try to get to a victory, if that's going to harm our interest in the region, and clearly it's having an impact on it. So we have some agency there, and I think we need to play into that because our interest is to get that war over and off the table quickly so that it'll lower some pressure, and we need to get so many of these troops that are out in the middle of nowhere withdrawn to bigger bases where they can be protected. Don't just leave them there to wait to be attacked again.
Well, hasn't some of that withdrawal started to happen to get them in less vulnerable spots? Hold on for me because I want you to answer a couple things. You said that Netanyahu doesn't have a desire per se to do anything right now. So how does the U.S. make him do it? And also you mentioned that it could, if, God forbid, this war becomes a wildfire, it could be a war that we can't win. What do you mean by that?
Right. Yeah, I'll hit that second one first because of course, our military is profoundly stronger than the Iranian military and especially our allies in the region. If it's just in terms of, the measuring, obviously we're well on the top of that. But the problem is if Iran doesn't quit and give up, if they say no, if it turns into a shooting war, then what do you do if they don't quit, if they don't stop? Then you have to actually invade. If you just bomb them a lot and they don't stop, then you have to escalate to another level and potentially invade it. And I can assure you, we are nowhere close to having the capability to actually go into Iran. You hope that this deters them. But if hope is not a good thing to build strategy on, because if they don't, now then you're either going to have to back down yourself or you're going to have to ramp up in something that would be catastrophic for our economy and for our national security in there, because we cannot launch a sustained war in there. I mean, we've already given so much of our weapons to Ukraine. We're now ready to give $17 billion more to Israel. We're trying to give more to Taiwan. You see, we don't have the capacity to do all of those things and still succeed.